And now to updates on the flood situation in Borno State. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has pledged a new approach to tackling climate change, emphasizing collective action and education. And during a visit to Borno State, Shehu Palace in Maiduguri, he expressed sympathy for those affected by recent flooding, cut and short his trip to the USA to be with them. Tinubu praised the leadership of the Shehu and assured for support for rehabilitation efforts. He highlighted that environmental issues, including climate change, are a shared responsibility requiring joint efforts. The president also paid visit to the Internally Displaced Persons (IDP) camps, promising federal government support for flood victims. Tinubu stressed that addressing these challenges will require both immediate aid and long-term education.
This is one disaster that we must pay attention to. We will help Borno State. We, as a government, as Nigerian people, will pledge with you that we will help in the rehabilitation and rescue of problems there. It is our problem, not just your problem, not the problem of community alone. Situation that we find ourselves.
And joining us to dissect the issue of flooding is Dr. Tope Olatunde-Aiyedun, an environment expert and a lecturer at Confluence University of Science and Technology in Kogi State, Nigeria. Good afternoon. Glad to have you join me on the news.
Good afternoon. Glad to be here. Thank you.
All right. Now, straight to a conversation. Given the recurring nature of flood and also similar pledges made by previous administrations, what actions should we take, to ensure this promise made by the president can lead to a lasting solution?
Thank you. The flood issue has been a major challenge to us and is now cutting across so many other states. Before, we were thinking it's for the island states and those states that are close to River Niger and River Benue. But having seen it massively in Borno State, it shows that when environmental crisis want to strike, it's cut across everybody. It can affect anywhere. So I feel that one of the things that can be different from what we have been hearing all along from the past government, which this new administration, the Tinubu government, President Tinubu government can do, is to create a more stricter measures in the environmental regulations that we have. There are regulations out there, but are they strict enough for people to comply with? And we can start by having a stricter penalty for every leader who is supposed to do some things and fail to do it. I'm not saying that we should adopt that of the one that they did in North Korea, but we can do something minimal penalty to our leaders who were supposed to actually do something and they refuse to do it. Because I learned that dam has been damaged for some time now, at least for 2 years. So what happened? And there was a committee that was constituted for them to look into it in 2022, and the committee reported back that it's not life-threatening. So what are we now experiencing now? After 2 years, just after 2 years, the crisis is here with us. So I feel there should be stricter measures, stricter regulations that should be put in place, whereby people will own up to their responsibilities.
Now, talking about stricter measures, Dr. Aiyedun, we understand that NIMET gave an alert regarding rain as well as thunderstorms in some parts of the country. What, beyond being reactive now, what proactive measures need to be taken to help prevent such flooding disasters?
I think one of the main strategy that I would say is that for people to actually be proactive, people need to imbibe more into early warning strategies. We have so many so many time to prepare for this rainy period. We have the dry season. God has really blessed Nigeria with so many seasons. We have the dry season and the rainy season. We can predict between which time and which time. But what do we usually do during our dry season? Do we prepare enough? So I will feel that we should start looking, especially our government, should start looking at the climate mitigation, which is the preventive aspect, thereby creating early warnings to communities, as well as looking at our infrastructure. Are they sustainable enough? Those dams that are already harboring water for us, hope they are not damaged. If they are damaged, what measures have been put in place? Those rivers that are trying to overflow their boundaries, what are you putting in place so that they cannot overflow their boundaries? Are there more levees created, built? There are so many measures that can be put in place in preparedness. Instead of us looking for how to now be solving problem and looking for emergency relief, we can actually focus more, divert our funds. We have ecological funds for crying out loud. We can divert those funds to preparedness, have a wider drainage. I said this before many times. Most of our drainages are too narrow. If they are not narrow, they are blocked. Have a wider drainage. Let's all put hands on deck. Communities should be working and government should be working, but more hands should be on the government, because government have to create wider things and not for us to start looking for adaptive measures. Because right now, the deed has already been done. What we are looking at now is the climate adaptation, where we can actually be more proactive. So with the measures of creating more dams, building more drainages, creating more levees in our riverine area so that it will not overflow out of their river side to community. I think that measure, let's start from there. Then again, sorry, please, I feel that we should also bring in more experts. More experts should be included in that committee. I learned that there was a committee that was formed in 2022, and it included political leaders, especially. Environment should not be seen as a general term. When we start seeing environment as if it is a medical term, whereby you cannot just call anybody to come and treat a patient. The same way in environment, you should not just call anybody to come and start solving environmental issues. There are experts there. There are experts that have been trained, that have been trained, they have been groomed to do such a thing. Why not involve them? So please make use of your expert, make use of your personnel. I feel that the government can do more by making use of these people that we already have on God, that God has already blessed you with, instead of them leaving the country and go and be helping other countries, because their country is not there to regard their what they have. So I feel that
all right, Dr.
this can be
Aiyedun, I
prevented.
wish we had more time to talk about this, but I must end the conversation there. But thank you so much for your time on the news. Dr. Tope Olatunde-Aiyedun, environment expert as well as a lecturer. Many thanks indeed for your insight on the news.
Thank you so much. Thank you.